Episode 1. The Principles of Survival. Stand up, square up, and pray. Face your challenge. When life knocks us down, we have to gather ourselves and stand up. A lot of people will just lie there in their suffering and their pain, and we have to get up, emotionally get up, physically get up, and then face the world. I'm Paul Estridge, and this is Survive in Advance, a show from the People Forward Network. Let's learn to face life's greatest challenges and move forward together. Through this series, I'd like to share with you principles of surviving, but not just surviving, on how to advance forward, because it's not just getting through something, it's making a better life after the situation. So how do we do that? Here are the principles for survival. First, stand up, square up, and pray. When life knocks us down and we're almost dizzy with disbelief that this could happen to us, the most important thing for all of us in that situation is just to get back up on our feet. Stand up in such a way that we can then square up to what it is that we're facing. And at that point in time, for me, it's important to pray. It's important to pray for help. It's important to pray for guidance and stamina, because it's going to take all three of those in order to get through what you're facing. Sometimes people have a predisposition to thinking, why me? And from my perspective, I think, why not me? These types of things happen to people all over the world. I'm not unique. I'm not protected from bad times, and nor are you. I remember when I went to the doctor and we were believing that I just had some kind of lung challenge and it wasn't anything serious. And I was going back for just a normal checkup. And the doctor told me, well, we didn't think that it was idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, but it is. The last scan shows that you definitely have that. In that very moment, I was knocked down because IPF is an incurable disease. People don't live with it. I could have laid there and I could have started the why me. And I realized when I look back that I was accepting it. I was accepting the fact that I had the diagnosis. And I needed to do something in order to get to the end of this in somewhat of a positive, high-quality life way. So I remember telling Judy, my wife, that I'm just going to have to stand tall and square up to this whole thing. And first and foremost, pray. Pray for guidance. Pray for peace of my heart, and pray for God's hand to be on me during this time so that I would handle it in a way that would honor God and honor the faith that I had in Him. So that's what I did. I stood up, I squared up, and I began to tell people that I had IPF. I wanted them to know. I think that's part of facing the challenge, is you tell other people what you're dealing with, and then they can start to watch you, because ultimately how you deal with it is likely going to help them deal with the challenges that they're going to have someday. I think this is what God would have us do, is show others, if I was going to die, how to die. But if I wasn't going to die, how to show other people how to survive. Next, face your challenge. A lot of times when we are dealing with something as difficult as a health issue that's going to challenge our life, or severe bankruptcy or financial problem, or the loss of someone else in our lives, we want to deny it. We don't want to believe that it's true. We ignore it, and we don't get into the frame of mind where we need to start doing the right things in order to get through it. And so it's important that we face our challenge, that this is happening. I've got cancer, or I have an incurable disease that doctors say would be a miracle to get through. Or I've lost everything. I've lost my house. I've lost all my financial wealth, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I have to accept it. I can remember a time when I was facing financial ruin after the real estate recession, and I was going to have to close my company and ultimately declare bankruptcy. And so I sought counsel from several friends who quickly advised me that this was going to become front page news and that I needed to do everything I could through a public relations agent to get it pushed to the back page and to minimalize it. And I thought about that. I prayed about that. And I knew this was going to be something really, really bad for everyone that knew me, their perceptions of me, and our family. So I thought, how can I turn this into something constructive for the lives and people that I know and around me? How can I turn this into something that ultimately becomes a good thing? And so I decided, no, I wasn't going to hide from it. I was going to face it. And I asked my public relations agency to get me on the front cover of the Indianapolis Star. And so there it was, spread all over Indianapolis, that Paul Estridge was closing his company and going bankrupt. And I knew that from that point on, it was over. I didn't have to worry about the continuation of questions or people asking me, how you doing? Are things okay? No, I'm on the rebuild from that point on. And the other thing that was really important, I think, to helping me cope with this was that I realized that I was modeling for my children and other people in our community, how does a man deal with really difficult situations? What does he do? What does he practice? What does he believe? What actions does he take? And I felt that standing up, squaring up, and facing the challenge were really part of the beginning of the heal. When people are knocked down, most people get back up. Not a lot of people square up. And I think when people are facing really difficult situations, they play the victim and simply are paralyzed and don't know what to do. I think it's critical that we face our challenge eye to eye, toe to toe, as opposed to being back on our heels and in denial of what's really going on. Now, we have to face it. We're in trouble here, and we're going to have to do something about it to get it through it. You don't survive and advance to the next thing until you face your challenge. Thanks for listening to Survive and Advance, a show from the People Forward Network. I'm Paul Estridge, reminding you to keep moving forward and always be grateful. Let's stay connected. Send me an email at surviveandadvance@estridge.net.